All righty.
Hi. Hi, hi, hi.
Hello, hello. There you go.
Hey, welcome. Good to see you, Conti. Welcome
Good.
to Dating Differently with Dami.
And Dr. Conti.
You know, I like to say that. I like to hear you say that. But today we are talking about date them all. Ooh,
Mhm.
ooh, wee, ooh,
Yeah,
wee.
y'all, this is going to be a good one. Share, click people, tag people, all of that.
Hurry up and come on. Hurry up and tell them to come on. I know everybody wants to know about it because truth, just Dr. Conti and I, we have combined our expertise to create strategic roadmap that helps you first prepare for healthy love so that you can confidently choose with clarity and sustain the right relationship. And we're going to talk about dating them all. And dating differently really means refusing to let fear, opinions, Conti, we were just talking about this, just outside pressure dictate our choices. And oftentimes, one of the reasons we don't do it is because too many people limit themselves because they're worried about how people will perceive who they are.
Mhm,
As a
mhm.
matter of fact, when we thought about this topic for tonight, we said, what are they going to think? As a matter of fact, I thought, well, as we were talking, and you weren't really sure. We weren't sure if we were going to actually do it
Right.
because what were they going to think about us when they saw date them all?
And I was less worried about what the audience would think about us. I was more worried about, will the audience understand what we're trying to say and not misinterpret what we mean by date them all. So I was excited about sharing that, but I hope they get it. I hope they get it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. Yeah, and so when we say date them all, I want to say this too. We're not, please don't misunderstand, we're not talking about going out there being players, playing games with people. We're not talking about being dishonest. We're not talking about misleading people and leading people on or stringing people on. Not at all. But when we say date them all, we mean gathering information. Remember, that's what we're talking about. And because before you become committed, people want to date and become committed so quickly. And dating is not the same as commitment. And so dating is that discovery stage. And so while you're discovering, you don't have to be locked into anybody. You should not give commitment level access to someone who has not given commitment level clarity.
And dating differently really is about freedom. It's
Mhm.
about being intentional. It's about self awareness. It's about giving yourself permission to meet people, learn about people, experience connections without shame or pressure to force, like you said, any commitment too quickly. It's choosing alignment over appearances and fulfillment over validation. I remember, we always talk about the 22 with me, but I remember when I first took 22 to an event with me in just my social circle. And I remember someone asking me, you sleeping with him too?
I remember when you came home and told me that, I was like, okay, really? Somebody literally had the audacity, the mitigate gall to ask you that kind of question? Like, really?
But the deal is, if she said it, how many other people were thinking it?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Like,
That's
God, that's not the same guy that I saw her with. She's with him too, and him too. Mm-hmm.
yeah. I want to go to because I know we have a lot of educated listeners. So
Mm-hmm.
some students of grammar, let's go to from a verb to an adverb. The action verb, seeing each other, dating each other, talking to each other, getting to know each other, identifying vetting, understanding. We waste so much time or so many of our better years chasing a good time than really understanding or waiting for that one person
Mm-hmm.
to say yes, trying to convince them to say yes, because we know we should have moved on, but we're too scared to move on because we don't know or we don't care or we're not sure what other people are going to think about us.
Right. Right. And staying in something too long. But the thing about dating them all is I like the fact that the ball is finally in our court, women. Yes, it is finally in our court. And we're not talking about cheating. Men have been dating them all for years and cheating. But the fact that we get to meet people, especially if you're all dating online, that's the whole point of dating online. Why would you date online and go out with one person? You're just getting to know one person and not still, what do you do? Get offline because one person matched with you or one person asked you out? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But you want to make sure that you're just being honest and letting them know that, I'm just not locking into anything with anybody, any person too quickly. Just because there's chemistry, just because there is attention or attraction to one another or potential does not mean you have to take yourself off the market.
I heard you say that you tell them, and I don't. I totally disagree. Because first of all, I don't know you. You're a stranger. You're just this person that I met. We're online. We made a match. We're having a couple of conversations. Maybe we went for a walk. Maybe we went to play a game of golf. Why do I need to tell you that I have a date the next night?
Yeah, no, no, no. I don't mean that. No, I don't. No, no. I'm not saying I tell them I have a date next night. I let people know that I am dating. And so, we're not, I mean, it's obvious I'm dating. I'm an older woman. I'm out there looking for someone who is going to be my match. And I'm not going to, I don't want anybody to think that I'm just sitting here waiting around for you to pick me up. No, not that I'm going to give you any details on when I go out. Oh, I have a date tomorrow. I can't talk to you. No, I'm not going to do that because that's not what I'm talking about. But I want people to understand that I'm getting to know you. You're getting to know me. Matter of fact, I had someone to say the other night, he said, all right, this is part 2 of my interview. Well, he said it the first time.
Interesting.
And I chuckled about it. Then he said it again. And it was in a text. And I simply text back and I said, no, I said, it's not an interview. I'm not interviewing you. You're not interviewing me. But what we are doing is we're getting to know one another. I said, that's what I look at going out and dating is. It's just gathering information and getting to know you. And he said, you're absolutely right. And he said, I apologize because he said, I thought it was a joke. I thought it was funny. And I said, it was at first. But if you're going to keep saying that, now let me let you know what we're really doing here.
And that's interesting because one of the things that I wanted to share tonight is not everyone does what you do. Not everyone is going to say, I am dating with intention, or I am still talking to other people. I am just getting to know you. I'm not locking in. And so we're talking, I think, about 2 different things. It's not that's right, that's wrong. I think what I'm saying is we have to realize that there are some people that have the attitude like you do. Hey, I'm letting you know. Hey, don't try to get all locked in. I'm just getting to know you. This isn't what you may think. And beautiful women like you, Dr. Conti, may have to do that when you match with folks online. But there are other people that they don't say anything. As a matter of fact, they'll take you out. They'll buy nice little things for you. They'll spend some time with you. They'll do all of the things that look like dating, but you haven't had that conversation. And so I think it's for us to know that whether it's said or whether it's not, we're the ones driving the train.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, a lot of times when it's old fashioned, and I get it because it's uncomfortable. A lot of people think that, well, I can't That's just not me. I'm a good girl. Look, I'm a Christian. So am I. I'm actually an ordained minister. So we're not talking about you going out and you're sleeping with these different men. The problem is, good evening, good evening. I see some ladies and gentlemen over there. Say hello, hello. How y'all doing? Thank you so much for joining us. The problem is that we go out thinking the old-fashioned way. This is why we're talking dating differently. And you meet somebody, they take you on 2 or 3 dates. They want to go to sleep with you. They want to go to bed with you. And you feel like, oh, well, he's taking me out on dates and maybe this is leading to a relationship, but it's not. And you haven't had that conversation. And it's definitely not going to be if you actually end up going to sleep with somebody, sleeping with someone after 2 or 3 dates. So I'm not saying that, and that's why I know it's uncomfortable, because I had to get comfortable with it. Then I realized I'm just going out to have coffee, to get to know you. I'm just talking to you on the phone. I'm not talking marriage with you. I'm not, because I don't know you yet. Yeah. I'm not talking no kind of intimacy with you. I'm not having no kind of intimacy with you. And that is why it's obvious that you need to stay open to dating other people.
That's interesting. When I did decide to do it that way, it was a breath of fresh air.
Yes.
You run out of feeling pressure.
Yes.
You don't start thinking about, but what if I don't meet anybody else?
Yes. Or what if he don't really like me, or if it don't work out? You're not thinking that, because what you're doing when you're talking to more than one person on at the same time is that you're not comparing people, you're comparing patterns.
Yep.
And it's easy to get caught up in somebody's pattern, and you think you're waiting on a call, you're waiting on a text. Well, then you realize he hadn't text. Well, but Roger has texted several times. Roger has asked about your date. Roger is wanting to take you out. Lewis is saying he wants to take you out, but Lewis isn't making any kind of effort. But if you had not been talking a date to Roger and Lewis, you'd be sitting around waiting on Lewis forever. So the good part, what are the good things about doing it and dating differently and dating with more than one person? So it's a wise decision for me, or to me, because dating more than one person can help you slow down your emotional energy. It keeps you from attaching too quickly. It keeps you from being so ready to commit, so ready to get involved, and you're taking it speeds up, and you don't take your time like it's supposed to, or like you should.
I totally agree. The emotions aren't there. You don't connect with it. And the emotions won't come until someone has been intentional, until you realize, I've talked to you long enough, and then the conversation comes up that, we want to just see each other or get to know each other exclusively. And that conversation will eventually happen with the right person.
That's right. And I already know when I'm going out, I am looking to date seriously. I'm not looking to date. I'm not a serial dater or a forever dater. I'm looking to date the one. But that is why I know everyone that comes into my matchbox is not the one. But you have to go out with them. You have to have conversations with them. Good evening. You have to get to know them before you can know. And if you have been using my 5-step vetting process, you don't stay around a long time once you realize this person does not meet my desires. This person does not meet my standards. This person is already crossing my boundaries. This person has already shown me some non-negotiables. And so you just keep it moving. But Roger over here, on the other hand, Roger is respecting your boundaries. Roger might be like really on desire number 3 or 4. He's like, doing the thing. So this is how you find out. It's taking those steps and taking that time.
I love it. I love it. I'm waiting for Roger to show up. Where Roger at? So you talked about online, and we know you meet people in person, and as empty nesters, as divorcees, widowers, the biggest place or pool that you really get to meet people now is online, which is already a bit uncomfortable, but it wouldn't be uncomfortable again if you've DM'd us, DM me, and let's talk about it. But let's talk about the matches, because there are some people that would say, but you might get 10 matches in a day.
I do.
I'm but I'm making up a number, right? Or hundreds of matches, but I only get a match once every month, every 2 or 3 months. And you're telling me to date them all, but I may only meet someone, or someone may only say that they're interested every 3, 4, 5, 6 months. So how do I not go into this mode that I got to make sure I see if this works, because I might not see anybody else come around again. Now, when I hear that, and I'm going to throw this back to, because I saw your look, I saw that look. Okay. Before I throw it back to you, Dr. Conti, I will say to anyone, if you are only getting one match every 6 months, then you definitely need to DM me.
Please call Demi. Yes.
Because
that means, yeah, your profile may need to be updated. There's some things that may need to be arranged or changed, and she could definitely help you with that. And if you're getting matches, but you're afraid to go out because you're scared to get back out there, then you need to DM me so we can get you.
And what I was going to say is, whatever the bait is that you're putting out is not any good.
That's right.
Absolutely. And I'm not talking about what site, and it doesn't really matter. There's something happening. No, it doesn't matter. There are some people that may get 100 matches in a day, and some people that get 10 or 5 or 1. But if you're not getting any,
yes,
then we need to talk about that profile. But let's talk about this. You only get one.
Let me say this too, Demi. But if you're getting 1 or 2 every other month, connect with them and decide, spend some time, go out, get a catfishing. Well, catfishing is scary. Well, we have a whole system where you can wipe out a catfish. You're going to know right off the bat if they're catfishing, because welcome to the Dating Differently podcast. Not sure if you've been watching us before, but we have, and Demi will talk to you more about it, but you immediately do a FaceTime. You immediately, you match, you want to talk to this person on the phone, you can talk on the phone, but then you're going to set up a time right away where you FaceTime and you see this person, because you don't want to go out with somebody or talk on the phone for weeks or days with somebody that you have not seen if this person is who they say they are.
She's telling you everything that I coach, okay? So yeah, you immediately do that. But I'll say that it really makes a difference. It makes a difference of what your bait is, what you're putting out there, and then feel good about yourself. That makes a difference too. Because just because you may have a friend and you know that they have, I don't know, 5, 10 a day matches and you're not, it still doesn't mean it's quality.
That's right.
Because really, that's what we're looking for.
That's right. I mean, just because I match with someone, I match with a lot of people, but that doesn't mean we are really a match. And so, I mean, there's again, a part of those, what you desire and knowing you. I don't smoke. So if they got smoker on there, I'm not clicking on it. Even if they say we'll match, even if they say we have things in common, they like dogs, I like dogs, they like theater, I like theater, all those different things. But there are other things that I look on there and that I know for me, they're not going to be a match. If it's an underage child or just certain different things. So, but the bottom line is to get out and to date and to get to know people and to just have a conversation and move into that area. So many women are saying they want a relationship, but you're not even dating.
You're not going. I always say do some different things. Get out, fun stuff. Take a pottery class, go to some different places, just hang out to meet different people. So you touched on one of the things, Conti, about talking to numerous people. And we know, and I've said it before on the podcast, but I'll throw it out there. One week I went on 4 meet and greets, so 4 days. It was exhausting. Okay. But how do you do it? How do you do it? I know for me, it was really actually exhausting, but there was so many people that we had great conversation, but because I was laser focused in what I knew I wanted, what I knew I didn't want, what I stood 10 toes deep, 10 toes down in, it was really easy once I met them, or even if I talked to them,
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't a match.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't moving forward, but it was fun. I always say I do things that I enjoy, and I do simple things. I'm not stuck at dinner for hours.
That's
I'm
right.
not stuck in, a friend's house. Why am I meeting their family? I just met them yesterday. Let's go take a walk. I'm doing things I'm doing anyway because
Yes.
I want to meet people that enjoy doing the same things that I do, or that they have things that they enjoy that I'd like to do. So
Mm-hmm.
we're doing some things where I don't feel like I'm wasting my time. Like, have you
Yes.
ever walked away from something and said, that was a waste of time?
Yes. Yes. And that's the whole part too of finding out and moving on when you realize that it's a waste of time. You're not going to be dating somebody. When we say date them all, you're not dating them all for 6 months. You're not dating them all for 2 months. You're going out to find out who you're going to be dating it for 6 months. So move on. Put move on in the chat, because a lot of the problem is you're dating, but you're staying too long. So put move on in the chat for me if you're listening and watching and you into this. Is this hitting something? If this sound good to you, put move on in the chat, because we stay too long. Now, what I want to say is, so when you're gathering this information, we're saying gathering information. When you're gathering this information, you are checking out to see, are they consistent? You are checking out to see that they can communicate clearly, and they are stating what it is that they want. You are checking out and wanting to see, do they respect your boundaries? Are they emotionally available? Do they even want to get married? Do they even want something serious? Just because you match with somebody, y'all may have 2 or 3 or 4 different ideas of what you want in the future. Do their values match your values? And I was talking again, Roger and Richard. These I'm making up names. These ain't safe. These aren't real names. And one is talking about going to church, and it just so happened that he visited my church that I go to, and I was like, wow. Well, the other one's creating some kind of spiritual website. What does that? Who's is that? Are you? Like, what does that mean? What does that mean?
What does that mean? You said, what does that mean?
Oh, so are you? So again, what I'm saying is alignment. Are you looking at? Am I aligned with this person or that person? We are not trying to be chosen. Yeah. We are stepping back and making sure that we are choosing wisely. I was watching, I won't say the name of the podcast, but it was 2 guys. And one of them said, women, you got to be careful. All y'all talking about dating everybody and dating more than one and dating around. He was like, you got to be careful. He said, because we don't, some men, we ain't having that. We ain't having that. Well, you're not having somebody saying they your girl. They're sleeping with you, they're cooking for you, they're washing your clothes, and then they're doing the same thing for somebody else. Well, we're saying you shouldn't be doing any of that. You shouldn't be doing any of that. So when it's time to commit to somebody, be the queen that you are and be committed to somebody. But you're not going to be committed to somebody the first 2 or 3 dates that you date somebody. You're getting to know them. And then the other person said, different podcast, but still men. He said, well, when I date, I let everybody know I ain't settling down. Every woman knows that I date. I'm going to she not number one. Matter of fact, she's not the only one. So, but when he says that, he's talking about sleeping with you, hanging out with you, and women, we are allowing too much access way too soon, and knowing this person has this kind of attitude, and we thinking, oh well, we'll change them. No, date somebody else.
I had to make a note on what you said on part of it, because you were right. I heard you talk about washing and cleaning and doing certain things. I don't think you should do it when you're dating. I think that's something you do when you live in the same house and you're married. So let's just say that.
But all wifey duties, girlfriend and wifey duties as a girlfriend. Wifey duties, and you're not even a girlfriend. You not even committed to this person, and you taking their clothes home and washing them and fold them, or you going to their house and washing and folding their clothes. Get out of here.
So, but I will add, because I always say we talk, and we have men in our audience too. Just because a woman is doing all those things doesn't mean that you are exclusive. And we brought it up last week because I talked about being in a relationship, being exclusive, seeing each other, talking to each other. When we go into any situation and we believe without conversation, without communication, that person thinks whatever the definition of those words are the same as mine, then we are being foolish.
Yes. And let me tell you, in my office, I've had couples come in, I've had singles come in, and I've actually had couples come in, and I'm literally looking at the guy saying, look, you a good dude. You trying to work something out in a relationship that's not healthy, and this woman is playing you. So men, they get it too. Yeah. And it's unfortunate because the good guys get these women that's not ready. The good women are not vetting guys and getting guys that's not ready. And so if y'all happen to ride across the same wave, nobody's trusting each other now because you've gone through so much. So in order to keep yourself from going through so much, you have to learn to vet. You have to date. You have to listen. You have to look. You have to talk less, watch more, listen even more, because people have a propensity to show you what they want to show you in the beginning. And we have to be patient. Patience is the weapon that best reveals deception. And too often, we are moving way too fast. Yep, way too fast.
I think that's a closer. Because I was going to say something else, but I said, okay. We hit it. I talked last week about the song. You got to believe half of what you see and none of what you hear.
Yes.
All day long. But it's always a conversation. You said it. It's always a conversation.
Yes.
Because I was joking and talking to someone, and I said, I don't know if you all do, but me, I play spades and bid whist and dominoes. But you know how you go into somebody's house and you think you're gonna sit down and play a game of spades, and the rules are different at their house. Like, what is this? You don't do that. Right. But you play based on the house that you're in. And that's really what it is in dating.
Right.
If you don't sit down and talk about what am I consenting to? If someone says to me, let's be exclusive, what does my question back to them before I even answer and say, yes, that's what I want, is what does exclusivity mean to you?
That's right.
What does that mean to you? What are the expectations in it? I ask a whole bunch of questions.
That's right.
A
And
whole
you
bunch of questions.
that's the thing. We have to and asking the right questions. Those are the right questions. Not what's your horoscope. We need to ask the right questions.
So let's put in the chat, ask the right
That's
questions.
the right questions.
And
Yes.
you're not sure what those questions are, you need to DM us. You need to follow our Facebook page, follow the YouTube page, or subscribe to our YouTube page. Follow us on all the social media platforms. Let's get it together. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Yes, let's go. Well, we're glad you all enjoyed us. We are here every Wednesday from 7:30 to 8. Listen, sometimes we go to 8:40 because y'all really be wanting to stay a little longer. Because I was about to go into the dangers of actually acting like a girlfriend too soon. There's some dangers to that. So we may have a part 2. Yes, we will have a part 2. So, but listen, I tell you what, join us. Make sure that if you enjoyed what we did today and what we talked about, we want to make sure that you date with clarity, that you move with intention, and that you choose with confidence. We look forward every week to continuing to help you love intentionally, heal completely, and date differently. Every week. That's what we come here to do. All right. Ask the right questions. That's right. Thank you. Put it in the chat. Ask the right questions. All right. Y'all be blessed. See you next week.